Hey everybody, this is John Murphy at Murtech.com with your daily news update. Okay, here we are on August the 10th in the year of our Lord 2026. I've got some great information for you tonight, so let's go ahead and click over here to Murtech on Rumble. This is my Rumble channel. This is my live stream coming up, episode 2005. It says upcoming, but as you know, you are actually watching it. So let's go ahead and jump into this. And coming up, episode, there we go. See, I told you it was live. All right. We have Debbie BS and Susie Poll 2016 has joined us already. So let's go ahead and close that out for the moment and slide down here and click the show more button. To expand out the description box, we have information from Dan Bongino, Charlie Ward Show, also McWattersaffect, and Wendy Bell Radio. But before we get into that, I do have some shout outs to give. Oh, looks like Scarlett Cox gave me a comment. She was number 3 on the thumbs up. And Glow, GP Wolco01, Hello Rumble, number 6. Show shared, thank you very much. And just got power back. Had a bad storm. Oh, I hate when that happens. Okay, well, I'm glad you got your power back, though, so you can join us here and watch that. We had a couple of weeks ago, I don't know if you remember, when I was having some internet problems. Yeah, we had a severe thunderstorm just like right over our house. It was like you could see lightning and the crack of thunder right at the same time. And I believe what had happened was lightning struck somewhere and the power went through the cable into my Wi-Fi box and burn it up. I had to go the next day and take it to Xfinity, Comcast, and they replaced it for free, of course. And I got it back up and running. But I hope nothing like that happened to you, Glow. At any rate, MBE2013 just started following my channel. Okay, Automated just started following my channel. Rev Paula just started following my channel. G. Costin just started following my channel. John Lee John Listy just started following my channel. Marawan J, I guess, just started following my channel. Lisa Ann R just started following my channel. Revelation 777 just started following my channel. M. Gostin just started following my channel. So thank you very much, folks, for following my channel. I greatly appreciate that. I hope you're tuned in and I hope you enjoy the content. All right, Debbie BS reposted my episode 2004, and Debbie BS reposted my extra 787C, and that was a good extra, folks. That was Dr. Peter McCullough giving a statement to Congress with Senator Johnson, Ron Johnson, and this video was back in 2025, okay, and that just goes to show you that's been what, 15 months ago. There was a great video here 15 months ago, and now, just about a month and a half ago, the information comes out on Fauci. So it's a slow process when you do it right. Now, if you're the deep state and you're going after Donald Trump or some other Republican, things move like clockwork. But when you do it the right way and have to fight with the Democrats and the deep state to get everything through, it takes a while. And still, uh, nothing's really happened to Fauci. Okay, but anyway, Glow commented on my episode 2005, as you just saw above. Debbie BS Viper Senior commented on my episode 2004. Debbie BS commented on my extra 787A. And Sydney Hope and Debbie BS commented on my extra 787B. Cotton Ball 31 and Debbie BS commented on my extra 787C. So thank you very much, folks, for reposting my videos, and thank you for your comments. I enjoy reading your feedback, and I definitely appreciate your support. So let me give this a thumbs up. There we go. Okay, let's jump back up here and see what Dan Bongino has to say. A commie tells the truth. Episode 2570. Well, let's check that out and see what he has to say.
Bell, guys. I missed the bell myself. I had a little party for Paula. Worked out great. Paula did great work. Jasmine helped us out a lot. Great party. But I woke up Saturday morning, and usually I feel pretty good for an old 51-year-old guy who's like a rotting sack of meat at this point. Really, everything's broken. I haven't treated my body particularly well over the years between all the contact sports and crap. You know, you think I made a professional career out of this, right? No, I didn't even get paid for destroying my own body. So I'm usually getting by. But I wake up Saturday morning, and no, it wasn't because it was like a particularly intense Friday night party, but I'm old, like 11:30, we wrap up. Everybody, all my friends are old too. I don't hang out with 20-year-olds, you know? So, except one, my daughter's ex-boyfriend. He was a nice guy. He joined us for the party too because we love the parents. So, but I woke up and my back was killing me. Have you ever had your back lock up? Anyone in the chat? I've never had this happen before. Now, I had a spinal injury, disc injury. That was different. But if you guys ever had, they're too young. The whole crew here is like, this is like, these guys are, I don't even know if they're drinking age, half these guys in the studio. They look so young. I mean, I don't ask them their age. I don't even know it. I had to fill out a job application. Jasmine deals with it all. I've never had my back lock up, ever. It's the worst thing ever. The worst freaking thing ever. You can't even move. I go to my doctor friend, thank you, Steve, gives me some anti-inflammatory, like powerful stuff, and I woke up today and felt better. But holy Moses, did that hurt. Is this just an old guy thing? Folks in the chat, wait. Yeah, mine is locked up right now. JDog3325. Bro, I feel for you. I've never experienced this. It totally sucked. I couldn't sleep. Paula was like, are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm not. I usually just lie because I don't want anyone to feel bad, especially my daughter. Daddy, are you okay? You don't want your daughter. Oh, that'll be fine. This is me. What, guys? If I had video, I should me walking down the stairs. Here it was. One. She's like, Dad, do you need help? No, Amelia, I'm okay. I'm okay. She's like, why is it taking you 10 seconds per step? I've really felt horrible. Give me this anti-inflammatory. I'm ready to go. I promise I feel good today. I told you guys I'd never do a show feeling like shit because if I do, then you know, I don't want people to feel bad and I feel like, oh my gosh, I feel great. It was the most amazing thing. Look, moving around. Hey, get back in the ring with Tyson tomorrow. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So, oh, there we go. We need the weekend update. I don't do those a lot. Okay, you know, personal life, who gives a shit, right? But it was kind of funny. Folks, I'm asked a lot about my experience working in government and having gone back to work for the Trump administration for the first year. I'm often asked, you know, hey, I heard you. I get this question a lot. We get it on DMs. We get it on email. People say, hey, I listened to you on your podcast with Sean Hannity. It's still up there. You can check it out. Hang out with Sean Hannity. He has a podcast. It's new. It's doing very well. And the show got something like 1,100,000 views, which was a lot, you know, for a show. I mean, it was a pretty new show. But I was glad because Sean and I really, you know, went at it for 2 hours. I mean, like we asked all the stuff you'd wanted to know about. Sean asked. So in that episode, he asked me, you know, like something to the effect of, you know, what things like that. And, you know, I always say, well, not much keeps me out. I sleep okay. But what am I worried about? You know, one of the things I'm worried about is if you think the weaponization of government was bad pre-Trump 47 presidency and during Trump 45's presidency, folks, the Democrats have now given up any pretense of pretending they care about, you know, good, decent, limited government. They don't. They are going to use the government for every bad thing possible going forward. And folks, you can fire as many people as you want. And believe me, we put up a lot of guardrails and did 10% of the entire workforce at the FBI basically was terminated or left because they didn't like what we were doing there. You can look that up yourself. Again, I'm a results guy, not a bullshit guy. I like the zeros who pretend to be my critics. However, when a new government comes in the executive branch, a presidential election, folks, they can hire other people. And they're not lying anymore. This is why I opened up the show and said, what happens when commies tell the truth? Cue up that Hillary Clinton video. I want to show you what I mean. They are no longer running from this idea of weaponized goon government. The whole Communist Party model of using government to imprison and torture your enemies, basically. When Sean asked me, like, what keeps you up at night? I was like, you know what? The idea that they're going to try to put every single Trump administration official they can in prison. For what? For just being Trump administration officials, not because there's any violation of law. They can't do that. They've already tried it. What are you talking about? They've already done it. What do you mean? Here's Hillary Clinton sending a message with that hapless, worthless host, Kara Swisher, another idiot. Here she is on the show talking about how, hey, man, we're just going to hunt everyone down. I knew that. I went in and did my thing. You do it anyway. It's worth it for me. But we will all be hunted down. I promise you, every single one of us, because that's what they believe in and they're not hiding it. Check this out.
Clean up, fix things.
There's going to be
so much to fix. I mean, first, get rid of all of the holdovers. Do not let anybody hang around in some small office somewhere who can literally subvert your program, and you don't even know that person's there. And I will predict that, Trump and his minions are going to try to,
put people.
They're going to try to move people from political appointments to so-called civil service appointments, although they're trying to destroy the civil service. So people are going to have to be really searching to make sure that they are not going to be literally subverted from within the government.
That's a really good point.
That's a really good point. This is like... I can't with these people. This Swisher, who's like the biggest big government loon ever, along with her big government loon partner on this podcast, Hillary Clinton, they'd love to tell you like government's this force for good in your life. It's so benevolent. It's like a bunch of like, you ever see the play Annie growing up? It's like Daddy Warbucks. Oh, look, in the end, he's just trying to take care of Annie or whatever, despite being a little bit of a hard ass. Like that's their thing. And then they just tell you the truth. And notice what Hillary Clinton says, just in case you're confused. They're not just talking about principals, deputies, assistant directors in the Trump administration. Notice what she says. We need to look in those small offices there. Just to be clear, you're going to have some guy in like the Bureau of Indian Affairs who is a Trump appointee for, I don't know, like the administrative assistant in charge of like window washing. And that dude's going to find himself out of a job. Has nothing to do with anything other than the fact that they were appointed by Trump. These are the people who want you to believe that government is this force of, it's this positive, benevolent force. It's your big daddy Warbucks in life. It's going to take care. It's going to hug you like Fat Barney. Sharing is good. Fat Barney style. That's not what it is. It's Fat Barney grabbing you, like shanking you, like with a prison shank. Like that's what they do. Folks, again, they hate this show so much because I flip off the D-bags all the time and expose them. People try to come after, we bury them every time. The media people are people, and the goons on the progressive left hate us because I just use their own words every time. Do we not? When I wrote the book Spygate and Follow the Money about the Russia hoax, I cited left-wing sources in the footnotes who had written and bragged about their targeting of President Trump. That's why they hate this show. I'm not telling you others don't do it, but nobody uses the clips of them speaking like nobody. Here's another one. So just to be clear, like Trump fires people, the Trump administration, for incompetence and for allowing their political beliefs to infiltrate into their work. But he doesn't fire people for their political beliefs. Trump didn't come into office and demand right away that everybody be fired who didn't agree with him 100%. That's not what happened. But they want to do that. And then when we're asked really inconvenient questions about some other people they're running with who tell the truth, Hassan Piker, right. You see the Republicans pounce thing, guys, about Hassan Piker now? They don't want to talk. Hassan Piker, like the left is openly campaigning with this guy. In other words, they're saying our Democrat brand wants to associate with this freaking douche canoe, Piker, right? This guy is a complete life loser and a zero and a fraud. He's a pretty rich dude, too, talking about how evil rich people are. So whenever they're asked inconvenient questions like, hey, this guy's hijacking your brand, running with candidates while saying crazy shit about bathing streets in blood, deserving 9/11, like maybe you should detach him from your brand. This is the answer you get from party elders and leaders. Here's a Hillary Clinton acolyte, Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Worthless. Here she is She doesn't know. She doesn't know. Watch the way they duck inconvenient questions when confronted with the truth instead of just taking it head on and growing some balls. Check this out.
Now that he is the nominee, now that he will be the focus nationally, I think, for Republicans, what do you want to hear from Abdul al-Sayed heading into November?
I honestly am not thinking about what I want to hear from Abdul al-Sayed because I represent a congressional district in Florida.
The guy's running with Hassan Piker like they appear together. Dude, they had a pool party like a couple days before the primary when Abdul al-Sayed, a fascist communist nutjob who just won the Democrat primary for the United States Senate in Michigan. What does that have to do with me, Dan? It has to do with everything. Debbie Wasserman Schultz is Jewish. She represents a huge Jewish population. These guys are open anti-Semites. Oh, I don't know. It's your job to know, bro. It's your job to know. Where does Debbie Wasserman Schultz work? Justin's like the House of Representatives. Representing who? You. It's her freaking job to know. Folks, when you hear people on cable news and elsewhere, these liberal commentators duck the question, oh, I'm just running on my own district. Really? Because you'll comment on anything else outside of your district. You'll comment on a Republican congressman in East Tunafish if he says something you don't like, but you won't comment on running with open anti-Semites in a Jewish district? Like, well, why would you not? I don't understand why you wouldn't do that.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause that there. Let me click on the Rumble link and show you this video does come from Dan Bongino. This is the video I shared with you. I've given him a thumbs up. This video will be in my daily news wrap-up, so you can watch the rest of it. Like 16 minutes into this 1 hour and 21 minute video. So there's plenty of information there for you to join us in the daily news wrap-up. But in the meantime, let's jump back here. We got Cotton Ball 31's joined us in the chat. Also, M41 Coco and Glow, GP Woko01 has joined us in the chat. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. Anybody else want to jump in? Feel free to do so. All right, Charlie Ward. A Charity Act moves forward. Right. Iran and U.S. tensions. Central bank buy gold. All right, let's get into this and see what Charlie Ward has to say. This is the first time I believe I've shared Charlie Ward, but I have added him to my. And the reason I did that is because when I share We the People news, she generally has a clip of Charlie Ward, and I kind of like what I hear. And if there's anybody else that you'd like for me to go ahead and share, just let me know. In fact, just put it in the chat box. Your favorite podcaster that you think everybody would like to hear information about, and I'll do it. If at all possible. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what Charlie has to say.
It's all being dismantled, and we're seeing it in plain sight. Morning, Drew.
Good morning, Charlie. Good morning, everyone. Well, starting with the Clarity Act, it's taken another step forward in Washington, with the Senate leadership formally beginning the process to bring the bill to the floor. A key cloture vote is now expected on September the 15th, and 60 votes will be needed to move the legislation forward. The bill has not passed yet, but this is the furthest it has progressed through the Senate process.
All right, so she mentioned they'll be voting on that September the 15th, and the reason why is because the Senate is on vacation. Thune closed down the Senate. Yeah, they just work too freaking hard, 3 days a week. They make, I think the Senate makes over $200,000 a year. But yeah, I mean, working 3 days a week and having to dodge, trying to push the SAVE Act through, yes, it's just too much for them. They have to take a 5 or 6 week vacation, okay? So they'll vote on it when they come back off of vacation on September 15th.
If cloture succeeds, debate and further votes will follow.
Everything is happening at the right time. There's a lot of people out there that, oh, we wanted it done now. We wanted this done. We wanted that done. Let me explain something to you. Patience comes from God. Satan rushes everything. Satan creates fear, creates panic. This is how the world has been since time began. Satan creates confusion. But if you're patient and you're calm, everything will be done in God's time. And God's time is perfect. We're watching that right now. We're watching everything roll out perfectly. Not in your time, not in my time, in God's time. And it's that patience that comes from God. And if you're struggling with it, you need to renew your link with God, because God will give you the patience, because God has an abundance of patience, and God will share that patience with you so that you don't live in fear. If you're living in fear, it's because Satan is rushing you, is pushing you. That's where fear comes from. Whereas if you're patient, all good things come to those who wait. That was a saying my father used to say 50 years ago when I was a kid. All good things come to those who wait. We're seeing a huge transition right now in the world with what's going on everywhere. Iran is actually, the people of Iran are actually laughing, and I've told you this before. They're laughing at what the media are putting out there, because the people of Iran, most of them, not all of them, most of them are good people. There is an abundance of Christians in Iran that are rising up. They're rising up and they're good people. But what was installed in Iran by the US and by Israel, Israel did it for their own ends, for the greater good of Israel. And Donald Trump is allowing it to play out so that you can see who's truly evil. Because Israel has controlled the US for a long time. A long time. The US sold their soul to the devil. And the devil, whether you like it or not, is Israel. It's Zionist. They sold their soul. And right now they're rushing you. They're pushing you. They're creating fear. They're doing everything they possibly can because the light is exposing the darkness. And the darkness has always been there. They've always been there. But now they're being exposed. So don't live in fear, because God always wins. And God has won this one. Enjoy this journey. It's amazing. True.
Next up, central banks are continuing to increase their exposure to gold. China reportedly added nearly 20 tons in July, extending its buying streak to 21 consecutive months. And South Korea is preparing to purchase domestically produced gold for its reserves for the first time in 13 years.
Now is the time to buy gold. Right now, today, August 2026, buy gold, buy silver. It's about to go. It's started to go already. Don't be too late. China is so far ahead of the game, and it's almost divine comedy, because do you know what they're buying gold with? Paper. Paper dollars. That's what they're buying gold with. US dollars. US dollars are made of paper, not backed by anything. But America and the world up until now are accepting paper for the real thing. If you've got dollars anywhere, it's paper. It's not worth the paper it's written on. Now is your chance to change your paper for gold. And if you go to charlies.gold, my website, if you're in Europe, we have a company called Orvesta. who will help you with buying of gold or silver. And if you're in America, we've got Noble Gold. But either of those companies will help you if you store your gold or silver with them. So you don't need to live in America or live in Europe. You can buy from either of those and store it with them. That's what I've done. I'll leave you with that thought, and that was the news. On Monday, the 10th of August, 2026. What an amazing time to be alive. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
These are the facts, not put out by mainstream media.
All right. And yeah, Glow is right. The Israeli people, the Jewish people that live in Israel, they're not the enemy, but the government. You know, I've mentioned this before. You know, I don't have a problem with the Jewish people. I have a problem with the government, just like I had the problem with the government with Biden, under Biden. I had a problem with the government here in the United States under Obama and under Clinton and under Bush. Yeah, he was one of those rhinos, both Bushes, incidentally. Let me click on the Rumble link and show you that this video does come from Charlie Ward. This is the video I shared with you. I've given him a thumbs up. I hope you do the same thing for me. I just wanted to give you a little take on that. And we need to step back and think about what he said here on that, about Israel, the government, not the people that live in Israel, are really not as friendly as they would like you to believe to the United States. I mean, they use us a lot. Donald Trump he's come out against the Israeli government, Benjamin Netanyahu. So, you know, he's definitely given him a tongue lashing a time or two. But with that being said, let me give Viper Senior here a shout out for joining us. Okay, there we go. Let me jump back here. Okay, Viper Senior joined us in the chat. Thank you very much. Okay, let's move on to McWattersaffect. Mike Rowe just shattered the DSA's biggest talking point. Let's check that out and see what that's all about.
I don't believe any of them. All the DSA people are saying, oh, these things you quoted last week, we don't say. Yeah, you said it, you meant it, stop it.
Yeah, flip-flopping, though. This is as old as
That's
politics.
not flip-flopping, that's lying. That's just pretending you don't. I know who you really are, and that's okay. Communism is an economic system that always leads to a horribly corrupt, violent political system, but it is an economic. You're allowed to vote for it. I'm not saying make it illegal or anything, but just own up to what it is. That's what it is. When you're talking about seizing the means of production, you are a communist. Okay, just own it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. And today I want to show you another clip from Bill Maher's show where he is talking to Mike Rowe. And this was his first guest at the very beginning, where he's talking to someone influential and really important to talk to about a certain subject he wants to talk about. And this has to do with the jobs and the economy with Mike Rowe. And they're talking about DSA and who's actually supporting DSA. And it's not the people you think would be. All right, guys, so stick with me. If you could, please hit that like button, comment, and share this out to everybody.
I shared your monologue from last week.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was really important because you didn't accuse anybody of anything, really.
Just quoted.
You quoted.
Yeah.
So I put this up on my little page, and I wrote what I wrote, and we have over 200,000 comments on this thing. You hit something that's so primal right now, and
yeah,
for me, I don't really have a dog in the big socialism hunt specifically, but I've got one in workforce. And when I look at 400,000 or 500,000 open jobs, and then I look at those 7 million able-bodied men not even looking at the jobs at all, and then I look at this whole conversation unspooling. I don't know if you saw this, but the stat that got me within the Democratic Party right now, 59% of Democrats who support socialism have college degrees. 40% who support socialism don't.
You know, I'm not really surprised about those numbers, because if you look at the percentage of people that support socialism, majority of them are white and they're also college educated. And the thing is, the reason they support it is because they're indoctrinated while they were in college. And most of the people that didn't go to college don't believe in socialism. They believe in capitalism because they know that's how you actually go up in the economic charts. You know, that's how you go from poor to middle class to upper class to rich, and so on and so forth. And unfortunately, the socialist wing of the Democrat Party, and there's a socialist wing of the Republican Party, they believe in equity and not equality. And in my opinion, equity is just a fancy word of saying socialism anyway.
So this thing that's being called a worker uprising, it's really not.
No.
It's not. This is happening because a lot of people with a really expensive credential are in the hole in a big way, and they're pissed. And I don't blame them, honestly. I mean, we can say what you want about it, but they took our advice, man. They took our advice. We said, borrow whatever it takes. Go follow your dream, and then go get your dream job. And that was a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah, they don't want to borrow money to get a degree for a job that doesn't exist.
And I don't want to lend them money that they'll never be able to pay back to get their credential for the job.
No, I mean,
they're 100% correct. That's a fact. The fact is, the boomers and some of the Xers convinced these kids that are, let's just say, younger Xers like me, and also millennials and so on and so forth, other generations below us, to go and get loans and go to school, get this real expensive credential, and then finding out that real expensive credential doesn't mean anything because that job doesn't exist anymore because of AI or whatever else might come out to actually replace people working. Or that job was sent to China, India, Mexico, wherever it might be. And people in the government make these trade deals that make it where it's easier for countries to actually steal these jobs, because the fact is these companies are addicted to cheap labor. And unfortunately, in the United States, what's happening is the inflation that's happening here, it's made where people need to make more money to actually survive. And it makes it hard for corporations and for these companies to actually make a profit in the United States and stay fluid. And that's the reason they're going to India, China, and Mexico. And that's also why I'm against the wars, because the wars are a big component of inflation in the world. And if you don't have wars like you're having in the Middle East and also in Europe, you wouldn't have the inflationary rate going up in the West like you're having now. And unfortunately, we haven't learned our lesson in this. And as time goes on, we're going to have more jobs leaving the United States because of it. And then you have AI coming in, which I don't think AI is going to take as many jobs as we think it will, but it will take some, especially the ones that are like writing or editing and stuff like that, especially Hollywood stuff. I could see it taking a lot of those jobs. But guys, I want to know what you think. Comment down the bottom, let me know. Don't forget, hit that like button and share this out to everybody.
Okay, so, I thought that was really important to share with you, because Bill Maher, I mean, I've shared some stuff from him before where he's not liking the direction that the Democrat Party is going in. Not the Democratic Party, the Democrat Party. I hate it when I hear people call it the Democratic Party, because there's nothing democratic about that party. Okay? It's, it's part of Thune's party, actually. He says he's a Republican, but he's a lying piece of crap. But at any rate, there's a lot of people that on the left that follow Bill Maher, and he might be waking some people up. Which is a good thing. So let's click on the Rumble link here and show you that this video comes from McWattersaffect. Right here is the video that I shared with you. I've given him a thumbs up. I hope you do the same thing for me. But that's, we're making headways. And, I've shared some other information here let me get back here to my description box. I've shared some other information, some polling numbers, which you can take it or leave the polling numbers, but the Democrats are not. Their base is not very happy with them, and I don't understand why. But they're not really doing anything. All they're doing is bad mouthing Trump. They're trying their best to throw a monkey wrench in the works when Donald Trump tries to do anything. But and the information that you hear is that their base doesn't think they're doing enough. Okay, I don't understand. Their base must be as loony as the politicians in the Democrat Party. I don't know. Okay, but anyway, let's go on to Wendy Bell Radio, which isn't Wendy Bell. She's going to be out this week at J.D. Rucker, which is hosted her show before when she was out for a week. I think she went on vacation earlier this summer with when her boys graduated high school. But yeah, he's back with us this week, and I want to go. He's not as good as Wendy, but he's definitely got a good style. So let's go ahead and click on this and see what JD has to say in place of Wendy today.
So yeah, with Wendy out for this week, I've got a lot of shows planned, probably enough to fill, I don't know, 30, 40 hours worth. Thankfully, I talk fast, so it's probably only going to be crammed into a total of 5 or 6 hours. We'll see how it goes. Who are we saving from today? There are many, many enemies to the United States of America, and we try to fight them all, whether it's the globalists, the Satanists, the Marxists, and that's who we're focusing on today, the Democrats and their Marxist overlords, the people that have been taking them over. The Democratic Socialists of America have not only infiltrated the Democrat Party, but they have taken it over. I mean, pretty much it's done. They're over. Chuck Schumer's days numbered. Nancy Pelosi, she saw the writing on the wall. She already bailed. She's only there to get some final stock tips before having to sneak the stock tips out somewhere way else. but the rest of the old guard of the Democrat Party, it is gone. And we've got some clips today of, we can call them Democrats because technically they still are, but they're already talking about being former Democrats. And that seems to be the prevailing theme within the party. There are those who are sticking with it, and it's a majority of them sticking with it, right? They're like, well, big tent, we got to adapt. Maybe we can control this crazy Marxist animal known as the Democratic Socialists of America. Then you got those that are like, this is bad. This isn't the party that we signed up for, like the John Fetterman types. And then you have the majority of the voters. And unfortunately, the majority of the voters have no idea. Okay, they just don't get it. They are out there. Oh, if it's a Democrat, that means it's against Trump. So we've got to vote for that, no matter how insane they are, no matter how bad it gets. We have to vote against Trump, no matter what. Oh, orange man bad, orange man bad. Oh, that's my best Democrat impression. Oh, it was awful, but you get the idea. They will vote against Trump no matter what, even if it means voting for those who want to destroy America. And make no mistake, they do want to destroy America. So today, for the Monday episode of the Wendy Bell Radio program with guest host J.D. Rucker, we will be talking about, I wouldn't say it's a straight line, okay? It's sort of a bumpy road. We're going to be talking about certain Democrats, certain Democratic Socialists, and we're going to work our way up to the person who I believe truly represents what the Democratic Socialists of America are. Now, in the beginning, we're talking about not the beginning of the DSA, which was back in like the 80s, in the beginning of this quick rise, when people started, really paying attention to the DSA, was right around the time when Zohran Mamdani, was the New York primary. Zohran Mamdani had endorsed 3 candidates, DSA members, and all 3 of them won their primaries. And so it's like, oh crap, we got to pay attention to these guys. nobody gave us the memo. It looks like the radicals are winning. It's like, oh, well, yeah, but that was New York. And then a couple more primaries later, it's like, holy crap, they're actually winning a lot of these primaries. So now we got to pay attention to them, right? Well, around that time, you started seeing a lot of people going out there, a lot of their representatives that are like, okay, so we're just going to tell the truth. And I even gave them kudos a few weeks ago, but I gave them kudos. I said, you know, compared to the Democrat Party, the one thing that we can say, they're crazy. The DSA is crazy. Their ideas are just out of this world. They want to get rid of the Senate. They want to basically neuter the presidency, remove the Supreme Court, have only essentially what you could call it even a parliamentary system where the Congress is the only true supreme branch of government and everybody else is secondary to them. This is just one of the many idiotic ideas they have. They want to get rid of, you know, prisons, because if nobody's illegal, if nobody's committing any crimes, if there are no crimes, then why would we need prisons to lock anybody up? You know, they don't have the answer to what to do with criminals, but that's okay. They don't have to have the answer because they have feelings. They say they want to get rid of the police, defund the police. And they talk about this. They've been talking about this a lot. And yeah, when you ask them, and unfortunately, very few in legacy media are asking them these questions. When you ask them, well, what do we do? How do we stop the criminals? They're just like, well, you know, there's different. We need to gut the system and rebuild it from the bottom up. We got to get it better or something. I don't even know. I have no idea what they're thinking. They don't know what they're thinking is the funny part. They just know they want to tear it down. Borders, that's been part of the Democrat ecosystem for a long time now, but they want to eliminate borders altogether. And they do it, but it's funny because they do it in a way, or they at least talk about it in a way that almost makes it sound palatable. And that's why I gave them kudos, not because of their ideas, but because they were willing to express their ideas. You look at the Democrat Party over the years, over the decades, and they've always been, you know, the party of say one thing, do something else. And to be fair, Republicans are like that too, to some extent, but Democrats have always been worse at it. They've always flat out lied. Republicans have just not fulfilled their promises, right? Democrats, they will promise something and completely lie about it. Well, now, Democrat Socialists of America, they came out strong and bold. And they're like, yeah, we want to get rid of the Senate. Yeah, we want to get rid of police. Yeah, we want to get rid of borders. But things have been changing. Things have been changing actually quite a bit just in the last week or so. The Democrat Socialists of America are starting to lie a lot. They're backing away from their unapologetic and bold ideas because they keep saying the wrong things and doing the wrong things. And people aren't very happy with them. So, change things up, right? Make it better, I guess. Get this fixed. Make it more palatable, because they are actually starting to realize, oh my gosh, we're beyond just an idea. We might actually win elections. So I guess we got to start being more like politicians. When we come back, I'll be taking them down again. We're going to be talking about each one of them one at a time, not necessarily in order of worst to best to worst or worst to best or whatever. But I consider to be the worst of them all. So we'll be right back on the Wendy Bell radio program.
All righty, let's move forward here. And I found it interesting that when Wendy's running the show, she's on the left side and Brock's on the right. But I mean, this happened the last time. I'm not sure why that is. That Brock is on the left and JD's on the right. I'm not sure what the significance of that is. Okay, so let's get this up here.
Straight up on this nation. And the entire name is a lie. Are they really truly democratic? No, they're not. They claim it. And AOC over the weekend was talking about how that's this true separator between, you know, somebody asked her, what's the difference between Democrats, or not Democrats, but against socialism and communism? And she says it's the democratic nature. That's what makes the difference. And that's a very convenient line. And it's a very well-placed line because it resonates with Democrats. It's like, okay, it's not communism, it's democratic socialism, and it's still got the democratic angle to it, right? But it's not truly democratic at all. Well, what about socialism? Is it socialism? No. Their ideas do not fall under the category of socialism. Socialism is about appropriate redistribution of wealth. And when I say appropriate, it never works, obviously, but appropriate redistribution of wealth, not a tearing down of the entire system. Socialism, as odd as it may sound, can work within a capitalistic society, whereas communism cannot. What they're talking about, their ideas, don't fit at all with capitalism. At all. I mean, it's not even close. So you can't really say that they're democratic. You can't say they're socialists. And are they of America? Not at all. They are against America. You listen to any of these people, any of them, especially if they're in front of the right audience, especially if they're talking to their people. Oh, they hate America. They absolutely despise America, and they adore China. They adore the Communist Chinese Party. Chinese Communist Party. Sorry. Either way. The Communist Chinese, it's all just bad. But not to the Democratic Socialists of America. The DSA adores them. So they are a contradiction within a contradiction within a contradiction. And unfortunately, it seems as if they are heading in a direction that's going to get them at least some seats. The question is, can we stop them from getting enough to have any real power? Because if they have some power after the midterm elections, then they are going to be poised and ready to make some real waves come the 2028 election. If they can be neutered, stopped now, if they can have a very disappointing midterm election, then maybe the Democrats can regroup. Maybe they can start kicking some of them out. Maybe the Republicans will have some more ammunition to be ready for what I consider to be the most important election of our lifetimes, and that is the 2028 election. A lot of people thought it was 2024. Some say it was 2020. To me, 2028 is the election that will determine our true future, because not only is it a pivotal time because it'll be the end of the Trump era, but also because at that point we will see, I would imagine, I would suspect, based on the trajectory of the world, the trajectory of the nation, that it's going to be a very disturbing time. I want to start, and we'll play the clip itself later after the break, but I want to go ahead and set up the clip first with some information about one of these DSA guys, one of the worst. I would consider him to be amongst the worst, and he doesn't even claim to be DSA, to be clear, but he is. His name is Abdul El Sayed. He just won his primary last week, beat the establishment Democrat, the Chuck Schumer endorsed Democrat, for the candidacy for U.S. Senate, and he is a radical. Again, he doesn't claim the DSA mantle, but membership in the DSA is different from embracing DSA ideology, which he does. And the DSA embraces him as well, as they've made very crystal clear with their celebrations. Over at Red State, Abdul El Sayed slips up, makes a revealing admission about taxes and healthcare. And again, we're going to play the clip after the break, but I wanted to get you guys the prompting, because how this is being framed, I completely disagree with. I think that they are incorrect. I'm going to ask you all to see if you agree. Michigan Democrat Senate candidate or nominee Abdul El Sayed hit the Sunday talk shows, including Meet the Press, to promote his campaign. He's facing difficulties because his far-left positions and his associations with extremists like Twitch streamer Hassan Piker. He's having difficulties with Democrats who supported Representative Haley Stevens, as well as the working class, which it's funny because they claim to be representing the working class, and yet they don't. Just to put into perspective, Dr. El Sayed has 3 homes, sort of a, champagne socialist, whatever, limousine leftist. What is that? What they call them now? It's like Bernie. Bernie's rich. He used to go after the millionaires until he became a millionaire. Now he has to go after the billionaires because he can't go after himself. Bernie would never do that. Neither would El Sayed. Meet the Press anchor Kristen Welker asked him about his closeness to the socialists and how he differed for example. And he gave what they call not a great response. And again, I am going to play it. We'll play it after the break. But I wanted to get the preliminary out there because that's how Red State's positioning it. PJ Media positioned it very similarly. Fox News positioned it. It's like, oh my gosh, he's so busted. He slipped up. It's a whoops. Clean up on aisle 4. They're trying to throw out all this. And I'm just watching it. I'm looking at him. And I'm thinking to myself, not only did he not slip up, he dodged the question, but just because you dodge a question and say it the way that he said it doesn't mean that he slipped up. It means that he was attempting to reframe what they were saying about it and do it in a way that was semi-positive. And you and I might hear it and we're like, oh, it's so crazy. He's talking about single-payer healthcare. He's talking about Medicare for all. It's terrible. Nobody's going to listen to it. They will, and they will. You have to remember, we're surrounded on every side by people who may or may not agree with us. So we'll play that when we get back here on the Wendy Bell Radio program.
All right. Let me click on this Rumble link here and show you that this video does come from Wendy Bell Radio. That was JD Rucker. This is the video I shared with you. I've given him a thumbs up. I hope you do the same thing for me. Okay, I want to jump over here and actually, let me get this set up here for you. All right, let me jump over here. This is, as I talked about earlier, this was my extra 787C that I dropped earlier today, and we actually rated Wendy's radio channel with JD Rucker on it. But here again, folks, this was back in May of 2025, okay?
I just kind of laid out
this video. And it's Dr. Peter McCullough talking about the mRNA CV19 vax. And he's been talking about this for a long time. Almost practically right after it came out, and they've tried to shut him down and shut him down and shut him down. Thankfully, Senator Ron Johnson allowed him to speak and say his piece. And here again, this was like, 14, 15 months ago. And just now, within the past few weeks, this is starting to reveal Fauci and what the hell was going on with the pharmaceutical companies. So let's go ahead and take a listen to this since I have some extra time.
the harmful mechanisms of this injection. Can you and Dr. Vaughn, because I think you've both spoken to this, again, in layman's terms, talk about why this caused so much harm in so many different ways because of the biodistribution. Dr. McCullough.
80% of Americans took a vaccine. 20% didn't. 20% did not take a vaccine. The vaccine was never safe enough for me to take. Messenger RNA, devised by Pfizer and Moderna, has been chemically modified to be unassailable to enzymes in the body to be broken down. The messenger RNA is found in the human heart of people who die after the vaccine. It's found in the brain. The spike protein is found everywhere in the body. 3 studies now show the spike protein is circulating in the blood for 6 to 9 months after people take the shot. This part of the virus, the lethal part of the virus in the vaccinated, it's circulating in the blood. And then they take a booster, they get more circulating in the blood. It is a killer protein. It cannot be safe. It was not safe by design. Safety trumps efficacy. We cannot tolerate false drug claims. And we saw a poster behind Senator Blumenthal making a false drug claim that vaccines saved millions of lives, specifically the COVID vaccine. Well, let's take a look at that. When someone signs consent for a vaccine, Senator Blumenthal, does the consent form say it's going to save their lives? Of course it doesn't. It's not on the FAQ. There's never been a prospective, randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial ever showing that COVID-19 vaccines reduce mortality or hospitalization. There's not even a valid non-randomized study. Thankfully, COVID mortality went down for 3 reasons. Because we all got the infection, vaccinated and unvaccinated, so we developed population natural immunity. We developed early treatment. Credit to Operation Warp Speed. We used all the Operation Warp Speed tools, additional drugs. We treated patients with multi-drug protocols at home so they don't go to the ER. So Governor Green never saw the patients we treated because they were successfully treated at home. And the third reason is the virus mutated to a much milder form. Those things happen concurrently with rollout of the vaccine. The vaccine cannot be falsely credited with saving millions of lives. We can't allow false drug advertising to be put up on a poster behind one of our public servants. We cannot accept that.
So let me quick.
All right. So did you hear him say warp speed enabled them to get some of these other things out there that actually helped people with COVID-19? Okay. So the warp speed thing was beneficial, not in the way that the Democrats push it. They're still pushing it. They still think this is a wonderful thing. It's amazing how they get on the wrong path and they frickin' stay on the wrong path as long as it's opposite of what, normal people think.
And I will have a lot more. I will have a lot more questions. So the point I want to make is, I think an awful lot of folks are saying that there was not informed consent. I would argue they violated the inviolable principle of informed consent with this COVID injection. I just think that's indisputable. I'll start with you, Dr. McCullough. Do you want to weigh in on that?
I've presented at the FDA advisory meetings. I've advised companies for decades on this, so I know the regulatory science very well. When a product definitely results in death, and there are thousands of peer-reviewed papers on this, Governor, the COVID vaccines in some people, sadly, result in...
Now, you see this guy over here on the right? I mean, he's shaking his head. He's going everything that Dr. McCullough says, he's going along with. I'm not sure who he is, but he's not standing out there alone. He's not by himself making these claims. His colleagues know what the hell he's talking about and agree with him. Let me back it up just a little bit here. Watch him when Dr. McCullough is talking.
Death. And there are thousands of peer-reviewed papers on this, Governor.
Yep.
The COVID vaccines in some people, sadly, result in death. Some on the very first day take the shot. That must be a black box warning on the product immediately. I just checked the package inserts for the currently available products, the ones that Senator Blumenthal wants to pursue. Sounds like Governor wants to still pursue these. Our FDA still wants them to be administered. They still don't have the word death in the package insert. As of today, they don't. And so Americans are not fairly informed.
Do you have any doubt in your mind that the COVID injection caused some deaths? I mean, what do you think of the, 38,607 right now listed on VAERS? What do you think the real number is? And do you have any science to back up your opinion?
The best data are autopsies. So in the largest autopsy series published to date, I know because I'm the senior author, of all the deaths we examined, and we re-reviewed them. We had an adjudication committee. We had ways of arbitration deciding on did the vaccine cause death. The answer is, of these cases that came in for autopsy after vaccination, 73.9% of individuals, it was determined that the vaccine was the cause of death. First author is Holscher and colleagues. He's sitting right behind me.
And again, by FDA's own laws, that should be included on that package insert, correct?
Immediately in 2021, Dr. Carol Tossetta, working with the Daily Cloud, wrote Peter's Marx in the summer of 2023 and said, where's the black box warning? Where is it? No word from Marx.
But my guess is the reason they were...
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause that there. And you can watch that. It's in my lineup of videos that I have on Murtech, on rumble.com/Murtech. You'll see it there. My extra 787C. So it's it's amazing that it took 14, 15 months to get Fauci back in there to get him to say, I plead the fifth. All right. And then the information to come out on that lying sack of crap. Okay. Well, there you have it, folks. Let me go ahead and jump back here. And a lot of great information in the chat here. Let me copy this. Okay. Boom. Close that out. Paste it in a comment. Boom. There we go. All right. Now it's a permanent part of this video because it's important information in there for people to see, what's been going back and forth, what we've been talking about. Okay, these videos that I've shared with you, I've got the links to those videos in the description box, as well as the links to the producer's channel in the description box. I'm just trying to promote this information out, no nonsense, common sense, logic, and truth. And these videos that I've shared with you tonight are videos that I've posted on Murtech.com, where I have over 40 no nonsense, common sense, logic, and truth videos. If this is your one-stop shop for the kind of information that you're not going to get on the mainstream media. The link to Murtech.com is in the description box, and it's a free site. I don't ask for your name. I don't ask for your email address. I don't drop cookies on your computer. I don't have a bunch of ads popping up in your face. It's just a place where you can come to get the information that you're not going to get on the mainstream media. The truth, okay? No nonsense, common sense, logic, and truth. That's what I'm pushing here, folks. Now, I'd like to share all of it with you, but unfortunately, I don't have the time to do so. And that's why I've put together my Murtech Daily News Wrap-Up. Okay, it says I have 21 videos in here. We're going to start off with Wendy Bell, J.D. Rucker, that video, then where we left off, and then move on to Dan Bongino, where we left off with him. And then more We the People news, more X22 report, On the Fringe, Ron Paul, talking about 1.5 trillion for defense. Unbelievable. Okay, also, and we know Stephen Dace and AP for a ton of information here, folks. But as of right now, go ahead and take a break. Grab a cup of coffee and a donut, or a sandwich and a soft drink or a beer, maybe a nice glass of wine and some cheese, and meet me back here in about 15 or 20 minutes so I can get this set up in Rumble Studio. But in the meantime, I do want to thank you for being here. Hopefully, I'll get to see you again later, and may God bless.